Oh, hello. Sorry, didn't see you there. It kind of surprised me. It's me, Mr. Proft, coming to you from my guest room here in my house in beautiful sunny Santa Monica, California. This is my unshaven face. This is my coffee. Ah, so yummy. You saw this coffee mug yesterday during my video. Remember we were talking about rim. That kind of got me thinking about coffee mugs. I have a lot of coffee mugs. I kind of collect them. And I wanted to show you my favorite coffee mug. It's actually right over here. There you go. That's my favorite coffee mug. Chewie from Star Wars. It says right there. And it's huge. Look at that. It's almost the size of my head. It's not a coffee mug the size of your head. It's a little dusty because it's been sitting on my shelf for a while. I haven't actually used it in a long time. But this is really super special because there's a little story, it has nothing to do with anything, but my father is a writer, and he actually writes movies and television shows, and he actually got this mug when I was a little tiny kid because he wrote on a show called the Star Wars Holiday Special, which if any of your parents or grown-ups are super Star Wars nerds, they'll know what that is. My father wrote on that, and they gave out some souvenirs at the end, and he got this giant Chewie mug back in the late 70s, and I've had it ever since, and it's been one of my favorite mugs. I don't use it very much because it's kind of like an antique, and you got to be super careful with it. Anyway, so we're not just talking about my family history. We are going to be doing a little work today. I'm going to read you a story. It's going to be one of our Chip and Josh stories. Remember, Chip and Josh are two animals. Chip is a cat and Josh is a rat. And today they're going to go on an adventure. After I'm done reading the story, I'm going to ask you some questions about the story. So you're going to need to pay very close attention to some of the details in it so you'll know the answer. Okay? I'm reading off my computer. The story is on my computer right here. So that's why I might be looking here instead of at you. All right, so let's get started. So this story is called Chip and Josh at the Farm. That's cool. Usually in kindergarten at the end of the year, we do a field trip to the farm. We didn't get to do it this year because the whole coronavirus business. But maybe you'll get a chance to go next year when you're in first grade. It's a really cool field trip, and it's tons of fun. All right, Chip and Josh at the farm. Chip and Josh are hanging out in an alley. "What are we going to do today?" Josh asks. "No plans," says Chip. They sit in silence for a moment. Then Chip has an idea. "Let's go on a trip," he says. "To where?" asks Josh. "Anywhere. We can sneak on the bus and see where it takes us." Josh thinks this is a great idea. They head to the street just in time to sneak onto the bus along with the human passengers. Josh and Chip crawl under an empty seat and wait. The bus stops. Some people get on. Some people get off. They wait and wait. Then they finally decide to get off the bus and see where it takes them. They look around. There are trees everywhere. And no tall buildings like they have in their neighborhood. And there's no people. "Where are we?" asks Josh as he looks around. "And what is that?" They both look at a big red building with a white roof. "I think I see some animals in there," Chip says as he looks closer. Then they notice another cat. Hi, friends," says the cat. She looks a little different from the cats in the alley. She talks a little different too. Josh says, "Hi to you. May I ask where we are?" "You're on the farm," says the friendly cat. Josh and Chip have never, ever been to a farm before. "Let me show you around," says the farm cat. Josh and Chip follow her to a big red building. They find out that it's called a barn. The farm cat shows them a big, round, snorty animal called a pig. "He lives in a pen and rolls around in the mud," says the farm cat. Then she shows them some chickens. "This is the mama chicken. She's a hen and she lays eggs." Then they see a farm rat. "You have rats too?" says Josh. "Oh yes," says the farm cat. There's a whole rat family living in the barn. Josh says, when we first got there, I thought the farm was so different from our neighborhood. In some ways it is, but in some ways it's the same. It gets dark, so Josh and Chip decide they should probably try to catch the bus back to their neighborhood. They thank the farm cat for her kindnesses. They promise they will return another day when they feel like taking another trip. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. End of the story. So here are some questions. First of all, question 1. Where did Chip and Josh go on their trip? Disneyland? No. Paris? No. They went to the farm, right? They went to the farm. How did they get to the farm? How did they get to the farm? Did they take an airplane? A train? Nope. They took a bus. They stuck on the bus with the human passengers. What were some of the animals they met at the farm? They met a pig, a snorty pig. Snorty pig means that's snorting, so a snorting pig. They met a hen. Remember, a hen is a girl chicken. And it's the girl chickens or the hens that lay eggs. They also met a farm rat and a farm cat. Yeah. I think either Chip or Josh said that, hey, the farm is different than where we live in some ways. What are some of the ways the farm is different than the city where Chip and Josh live? Well, in the story it said that on the farm there were less people. You know, the city is a lot of people living close together. The farm, they didn't even see any people on the farm. They were probably there, but they didn't see them. So there's less people out in the country. Also, are there usually big giant buildings and alleys on a farm? No. So it was different from the city that way. How is it sort of the same? What do the farm and the city, what's the same about them? They both had animals, right? They were rats and cats on the farm, and there were rats and cats in the city. So that's how they were the same, but they were different because there were less people and less buildings. So they were same in some ways, and they were different in others. All right, there you go. Fantastic, excellent job. So I will let you practice your sight word cards with your learning buddy. You've done a great job. So on behalf of me and Miss Dano and Chewbacca and Chip and Josh, thank you for watching and keep moving forward.